Hello internet, my name is Lave and this week I watched The Space Between Us and ooh, it's not good. I think it's a case of being so bad, it's good. There were a couple of moments where I was belly laughing out loud for all of the wrong reasons. So this film is directed by Peter Chelsom, who you probably know from Hannah Montana, and essentially it tells the story of a Virgin Space, SpaceX type company run by Gary Oldman's character. Can't even remember his name, I'm just gonna call him Gary. He plays a Richard Branson-like character who has conquered space travel. They make travelling to Mars so easy in this. On one of their latest missions, a set of astronauts go off to Mars to continue colonizing the planet on a site called West Texas. Unfortunately, on the journey there, one of the astronauts realizes she's pregnant, so the company have to decide whether to tell the world and risk bad PR, or they keep it under wraps and let the boy grow up on Mars. So they decide to keep it classified and the only people that know are them and the astronauts that actually go there. So this kid grows up to be Asa Butterfield and is raised by the astronauts who go there on their 6-year missions, but essentially the rest of the world doesn't know he exists. And because he's been raised by scientists, which is one of the film's catchphrases which got extremely annoying, he's able to hack all of their systems. He builds an 80s like robot, also very annoying, and he also has a pen friend or email friend in Britt Robertson. She's essentially playing the same character that she did in Tomorrowland, except this time she's an orphan, so she's got even more attitude. But essentially she thinks that Asa Butterfield's character called Gardner is a kid who just lives in New York who has got an illness and is confined to his house. Obviously this kid wants to come back to Earth and the company eventually allows it, and then it becomes a fish out of water story where he meets up with her and then he wants to try and find his father. But it just really didn't work for me. I thought this film was really quite painful and really awkward at times, which I'll come back to in a second. First of all, I really like science films that get science right. I think that The Martian proved that you can still make a really good film that is scientifically accurate. And all of the marketing of this film just made me think, well, this is going to be The Martian for the younger audience, maybe with a bit of Blast from the Past mixed in, but oh dear. It's just a very inconsistent film. It prides itself on getting the science right when it comes to the difference in gravity between Mars and Earth, but then they'll just completely throw it out the window with the fact that they can have a Skype conversation with people on Mars in real time. And I really didn't buy the relationship between Britt Robertson and Asa Butterfield. First of all, I thought she looked too old for him. And secondly, her character again is so inconsistent. One minute she hates him, the next minute she loves him. One minute she doesn't want to help him find his dad, the next minute she does. I don't necessarily think she gives a bad performance, it's just the concept of her character and the way she's been written. And Asa Butterfield should be really careful about what his next project is. I know a lot of people criticised his performance in Miss Peregrine's Peculiar Children for being just a bit muted and a bit bleh. He's doing exactly the same thing in this. He's a socially awkward but an intellectual kid. One positive thing I will say is that I think that they might have done some CG work on him to make him look a bit taller and a bit scrawnier. I think he's like that anyway, but I think there's some enhancement there just to make him look a little bit more otherworldly and in keeping with the lower gravity on Mars. And the relationship that develops between them I found really quite awkward and a bit pervy in a way. As I say, I thought that she looks a bit too old and I didn't really buy him as a leading man at all. Instead of making their relationship more about companionship and friendship, they really go out and try and make it a love story, and there's a really squeamish sequence where they get naked and into a sleeping bag together. I'm not kidding. There's another bit where she's in this really small blue dress and he puts his hand on her leg, quite high up on her leg, instead of just holding her hand or something like that. It's really awkward. And another problem that I had with their characters is that they're literally stealing everything in sight as they go on their cross-country journey to find his dad. Honestly, they steal about 4 cars, they steal money, they steal clothes. It's like watching GTA. And there's some really laugh out loud moments which weren't meant to be. For example, they steal a biplane and they land it on a road because the oil pressure goes. They jump out, do a barrel roll, and the plane goes into a barn, and then a split second the whole barn explodes like something out of Family Guy or The Simpsons. In terms of other performances, Gary Oldman is as professional as ever, but even he can't save this film. There's some really weird kind of hero shots with him walking in slow motion, and there's some completely BS moments where he saves the day. I was just like, this is so ridiculous, it's funny. And it's always nice to see Carla Gugino on screen, but even her character at the end does something completely out of nowhere again. I was like, that's complete bullshit. I'm really struggling to find any positives with this one. I think there are a couple of nice shots, but the CGI is a bit dodgy in places. The practical effects with the anti-gravity stuff I thought was a bit shit. There's even a big reveal which I clocked about halfway through, and then when I really thought about it, I thought that makes it even creepier. It's a really pervy, creepy film, this. So that's my thoughts on The Space Between Us, and pause the video if you want to take a closer look at my enjoyment tracker now. I'm really struggling to figure out who the target audience for this film is. I don't think it's fun enough for smaller kids. I don't think it's cool enough for teenagers, and it's just completely bullshit for us adults. But in a weird way, it is quite entertaining because it's so weird. Some of the creative choices that they made are just what? So thanks very much for watching my review of The Space Between Us. I really do appreciate it. If you can, give this video a like and don't forget to share the Lave. Just another quick note before I go, I will be doing another video to announce the winner of the Last Exit to Nowhere t-shirts. You still have time to enter if you're watching this video. Just go to this link here. Right, that's it. We're done. Subscribe.